We have seen in many science fiction movies different perceptions of a strange gates opening in the sky to pass through flying objects and spaceships carrying alien creatures to planet Earth. But from time to time we see in fact what looks like these strange gates that we saw in the movies, and we thought they were just science fiction, and it doesn't really exist. Recently, several sightings of flying objects were recorded from an annular gate in the sky in different places, and the strange thing is that they were all seen on the same day, which is June 19, 2022. We have received footage of these strange portals and UFO sightings in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Houston, Tunnel Lake, Canada, and La Crescent, Minnesota. In Wisconsin, a luminous ball was seen in the sky, and then the unknown flying object began to come out of this ball in an amazing way. The luminous ball, from which the flying object had come out, began to expand to form a kind of ring, which gradually began to widen and remained in the sky for a long time. At first, eyewitnesses thought that it was just a star, and that what happened to the luminous ball was nothing but an explosion of something in the sky, such as missiles or space debris that might enter the atmosphere in one way or another. But what aroused the suspicion about this unidentified flying object is that it continued to move and then stopped for 1 second, and a ray was seen coming from the center, and split into two parts coming out, to create a partial circle, and creating a smoke ring, and the shadow of the object moving in an almost zigzag pattern. The same unidentified flying object and strange portal appeared in the sky, on the same night, in Pennsylvania, where a glowing cloud was seen emanating from a very bright light, heading towards the Earth at an angle of 45 degrees, and when the unknown flying object came out of the luminous cloud, this strange cloud also expanded to form a ring of smoke similar to what happens when someone smokes a cigarette and explodes a small dense ring. When the ring rises, it extends into a larger ring and dissipates into the air. A small light source was coming out from the center of the ring. It was glowing and had an aura in it. It was close to the ring at first and then slowly moved away from the smoke ring. Its path wasn't completely straight, but things traveling at that distance could feel slightly distorted by the width of the Earth and the rotation. It disappeared over the tree line, then the moon appeared over the trees maybe 5 minutes later, and it ended up all over. The glow from the smoke episode was on for a really long time. If you stare a little, you can still see it linger for 20 minutes. The ring was positioned about halfway up the sky, compared to the point where the light had disappeared from view. It was around 2:19 a.m. In a related context, on the same night, the same strange sighting was seen in La Crescent, Minnesota, where a glowing object was seen in the sky descending very quickly, and resembling a meteor, as it had a tail like a comet, and it always pulsates and its condition resembles the gaseous state, as it rises from steam, and then began to slow down dramatically, which made the witnesses suspect that it was just a meteor falling from the sky. After a short period of time, the light in the sky stopped suddenly, but also a glowing light much smaller than it came out, slowly descending towards the Earth, just as it happened in the previous times. The ring also began to expand slowly in the sky, forming a ring of smoke. The UFO was constantly pulsing and flying in an oscillating trajectory, then it began to drift east and other UFOs started emitting from the ring into the sky. Then the UFOs stopped coming out of the ring and the ring continued to slowly widen until it disappeared. And to complement the scenes of this strange night, the same sighting was seen in the sky of Texas. But this time it's very low in the sky. In the same way, a white glowing object emerged from the ring that was constantly expanding in the sky, but this time, after the unknown flying object moved away from the ring a little, another glowing body began to emerge from it, and it also began to turn into a ring of mist in the sky, in a suspicious scene. The misty object started to move very quickly. Then he remained still for a few seconds. A ring of light appeared behind the original light. All the light was white. The ring spread very slowly while the original light bent slightly, continued to move away, and eventually both of them disappeared. This was at least for 10 minutes. After a few minutes a plane flew by. It was very clear that the plane was much closer than the other object. Also in Tunnel Lake, Canada, when eyewitnesses were watching the stars at night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, the same strange sighting was seen in the sky, but this time at a very low altitude, where the glowing ball appeared in the sky, from which a white glowing object came out, and then when it moved away from the ring, a smaller glowing object starts to come out of it. In Houston the same strange sighting was seen on the same night near a residential area.